the last time I saw you, you were both a little younger. 1983 was the last time I saw you properly. So
I was.
Yeah.
I said, get like Yoda then.
I was 16.
Yeah. God.
Yeah, it was quite a while away.
It's horrendous.
Yeah.
Horrendous sad.
You what?
I feel so sad. I want to be 20 again.
Do you look back? I mean, I don't know how much you look back at the stuff that you've done before on YouTube and stuff, but obviously, you know, we've been catching up with you from years gone by, the Marquee Show and all of that.
Yeah.
Do you look back at that stuff and go, that feels like yesterday, or do you look back and go, Jesus, that seems like a really long time ago now?
I look back at the Marquee one and think, Jesus, why didn't they have better non-run makeup? That's my first thought. I mean, I'm just smudged to hell and back. It's kind of a bit of both, actually. I think
different world.
It is, yeah. It does seem a bloody long time ago, because it is. But at the same time, I feel emotionally really close to it, because they're just fabulous times, and you're doing all your firsts, you know, and yeah, that was our first live TV, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I remember doing it very well. I remember because it went out live, and I remember being so nervous. So it's quite vivid in my memory. But looking back,
actually live? Yeah. Oh, it's called Live from London. I mean, which is horrendous, really, isn't it? Because the TV show we did, which a load of people did, was completely live, like bar a few seconds, I guess. But I mean, it's quite nerve-wracking.
It's nerve-wracking. Yeah.
So that's really that really surprises me, Jodie, because there is nothing about that performance where you look nervous at all.
What one?
The Marquee one.
The Marquee. Well, the Marquee, yeah, because it's slightly different because we're doing a gig, so I've gone into gig mode, and I probably not completely forgotten about the cameras, because there was a bigger setup than normally would be when we did a Marquee gig. But yeah, well, you know, nerves are important. The day I'm not nervous before we go on, I think I'll stop, because you know, and it can make me quite a moody cow as well. I'm going to be honest, right, June?
Yeah, you go quite quiet.
I've just,
you just need to process.
What
I mean, you need to do.
But it's what propels me on stage and gives me that sort of extra energy, whatever, to do the performance or whatever. I think if you're just so jaded with it and have no nerves anymore, I think it's time to maybe, I don't know, rethink.
So I do have one other question about that Marquee Show on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's a guy at the front who is completely out of it. Absolutely, completely out of it. Can barely stand up. And I wondered, was he a regular feature at the front of your shows in the early 80s?
We do know some of the boys at the front, don't we?
Yeah.
Because we did get the same, and some of them come now, obviously a wee bit older, but that were there at the front in those days.
Has he got a Rock Goddess t-shirt on? Yeah, he came. Yeah, he came to one of our gigs.
Who is it? Oh, don't say his name.
Well, we'll cut it out. We'll cut it out. Don't worry. We're not gonna name and shame anybody. So yeah.
I do know the guy that you're talking about. He did come along to one of our gigs recently. Yeah.
That must be great, seeing these people, you know, just following you through the career.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I mean, I know bands that, you know, I've followed from my teens and still love now, and it's you're really emotionally invested in. So I assume they're the same for us, and it's just make it a bit extra special, I think.
Yeah, it's nice that people still follow us and make the effort to come and see us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Certainly, there's so many good comments, aren't there, around on your new album, and I mean the chat around, you know, when you had to give up the tour earlier this year because of COVID. I mean, there's so much warm feeling.
So much. I mean, it sounds cheesy, and it's a bit, you know, Miss World, I want world peace, you know, but it's not. We really do mean it. They are absolutely everything to us. We always do meet and greets after. We, however sweaty and tired we are, unless we're prohibited to do it, we go out, don't we, and we chat with them and talk to them, and they're our mates, and we have a laugh. And yeah, I mean, they're really special. We are absolutely nothing, as all bands are, without them. They're really important. I think some bands do forget that, but yeah, we love them. I mean, they're really special to us.
So if we can, let's take it back to the very start, because we need some context for people listening to this. Formed in 1977. So I think I'm right in saying, Jody, you were 13, Julie, you were 9.
Yep.
So how did it happen? And just give us a bit of background about, you know, I'm imagining that your first gigs were kind of living rooms to friends and family, and maybe school talent shows and what have you. But talk us to the start.
A bit scarier than that. Our father is a musician. He formed the band and was our manager. He had businesses, he had music shops, rehearsal rooms. We were very lucky. We had nice gear and lovely rehearsal rooms. So you take it for granted at the time, I think, but yeah, you know, we were so lucky in that sense. And also having a manager that's not going to rip you off like most of my friends' managers did. And so, yeah, he formed the band. And well, basically, he said, bring down a schoolmate. And my schoolmate was best mate in the world, was Tracy. So I brought Tracy down to the Ritz rehearsal room, which were his rooms at the time. And he stuck Julie behind the kit and went, do this, because plays everything, my father, and just gave her a basic drum. I played a bit of keys at the time, so I was on keyboards. And then he said, Tracy, just play the A open note. And he basically gave us a sense, and I was playing a few chords through A, and he gave us a sense of being in a band quite immediately. We got that excitement straight away. I mean, obviously we then had to go on and learn our instruments or whatever, but we got that buzz. Oh my God, we're playing together in a band. And then I had to learn to play the guitar. And
I think it's different when you play in a band, you bounce off other people. It's not like you're sitting in your bedroom just doing it solo. So Dad deliberately just started it as a band straight away.
Yeah.
And yes.
Absolutely. And, you know, he had to bribe me to get my bar calls at one point because I was like, oh, tired. And then he says, well, you can have these jeans if you get your bar calls and stuff like that. I mean, we were kids, but I did it. And I wanted to get my bar calls, you know, but I wanted those jeans as well, I recall. But yeah, I mean, and it was, you know, fun. It was fun, but it was very organised and disciplined. Yes. We've always been very into practicing. Dad has always taught us you have to practice your instrument. We have lots of band rehearsals. That's just our mentality. And clicks, always. I mean, Julie is the queen of playing with a click. I mean, she's on it. Yeah, I'm quite used to it. Yeah.
That puts her ahead of Duncan Scott of Diamond Head, who
I did hear the podcast.
Yeah.
He said they gave up on their first album?
Yeah, Lightning to the Nations.
I don't want this cowbell in my ear.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I've pretty much done all the albums to a click. Yeah.
And also do tracks on her own, nothing else. So she could be completely solo and do the whole track, drums, click.
Again, this is where the organisation comes in.
Yeah.
Whereas before we did the last album, I know I'm jumping ahead a bit, we were very organised.
Yeah.
So I did go in on my own and did the drums on my own to just a click, no guide, no nothing, because we were quite organised.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to Julie. I mean, but she's super tight. I mean, she is super tight, and I think that's a lot of the glue of Rock Goddess.
And you're a tight guitarist as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit of the glue, but yeah.
Just a bit.
On the end.
The odd monster riff here and there. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to think.
She writes all the songs, you know.
So Tracy was, as your best mate at school. How easy was it for her to then sort of come into, I guess, what was in the Turner family business, wasn't it? Really.
She was used to the family anyway, because she was coming over for tea, and I was going to her family for tea and stuff like that. So she was very, you know, she was my best mate. So that bit was easy. We started playing covers, didn't we? My dad was like, just learn a few covers, you know, just so you start playing songs. And then eventually I started writing. But I wasn't writing rock metal. I was quite into punk at that point. So I don't know what the songs were. I was just finding my feet with that. But we remember then
Give us some loving and things like that.
Yeah, we were just covers and stuff. And then I really started getting into bands like Def Leppard and Iron Maiden and stuff. And then I remember I wrote one song, Fine Line, do you remember? And it was metal. And I'd been the whole set. I went, that's it. Been the whole set. I went, that's it. I'm writing a metal set. Yeah, that was it.
Then once you decided to play this style, who were the musicians that you thought, any musicians that really influenced how you wanted to actually play? You know, so I mean, I'd love to know, Julie, who your favourite drummer is. Who really you just thought, oh yeah, I want to play the drums like that.
No one really that would influence me. Just the bands that I loved at the time that I admired the drummers, Roger Taylor, Sandy West. But I didn't really have one drummer that I thought,
I want to be here.
Yeah. I just got on with my own thing, really. But those were the drummers that I knew about, because they were the bands that I was listening to, really.
Yeah.
Back in those days, I mean, obviously I was sort of, like a lot of people, reading Kerrang voraciously every week.
Yes.
And I just, and maybe maybe my perception is wrong, but I seem to remember that almost every time I read anything about the band, about you two, there were two things that the kind of the articles focused on. One was Julie's only 16, and the second was they're managed by their dad. And it seemed like that was all that every article made some reference either to Julie's age or to the fact that it was a family business. Did you ever feel like it's like, well, just be really bloody nice if actually one day they just talked about the music, or were you just happy to have their coverage?
I mean, they did talk about the music as well. I think, you know, you get used to being asked the same questions again and again anyway, and especially if you're on tour and you're doing sometimes 5-6 interviews a night, which suddenly people disappeared and I was on my own, I recall, for some of those. Oh, we just going to watch the band with a beer, bye.
Oh, yeah, but you like talking.
Yeah, I like this is true. And you can get quite weary. But I think as a journalist, as you would know, you just hone in on those unique parts of the band as well. So I did kind of expected it to always be brought up. And she was exceptionally young. I mean, you did have the record for youngest playing Reading at one point, didn't you? I think that.
Yeah, I did.
Youngest female. Playing Reading? Youngest female.
So just 15. Or was it just before my 15th birthday? Can't remember.
So yeah, I mean, haven't really thought about it, so couldn't have bugged me.
Right.
Would be how I might have at the time. My memory is shit. Oh, sorry.
No, it's all right. No, we'll
this is quite good for me.
That's okay. You can be as free as you want, because we always put an E on the episodes. So don't worry.
Good. Well, you will double me.
Oh yeah, we're always effing and jeffing everywhere. So 82, you find yourselves on the bill at Reading, on the same night as Iron Maiden, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That this is before your first album comes out, so you must have been.
That solidified our deal, I believe.
Did it?
Yeah, I think A&M saw that, and I believe, they came and saw us. I mean, there'd been negotiations prior to, but I think that was where they went, okay.
That must have been a hell of an experience. Must have been a hell of an experience.
Terrifying. I remember it was absolutely ferociously hot.
I don't even remember having a line check. I just remember
going on,
not hearing anything at all.
Yeah.
I couldn't even hear what I was singing.
Yeah, it was. But you get used to that.
I just got through it, and then because I was terrified through the whole thing. Yeah. But it was such a rush.
I had stupid shoes on as well. I need silver. Anyway, go on.
Well, no, that's it. It's just a great memory. But I was just so nervous. I wish I could do it again, and not be so
with
nervous.
This head.
Yeah.
Which I would say for a lot of stuff, because we're older and wiser.
Was it our first festival? Because now we do festivals all the time.
Yeah. Well, you mainly do. But yeah, I mean, it was.
Had we even done festival before that? I don't think we had.
No, I don't think so.
So was that massive?
We went from, like you say, when we first went out, started gigging. My dad we did a working man's one. I'm sure they stopped for fucking bingo or something.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Just getting us to cut our teeth and I remember looking at people thinking they all look like my nan. They're not gonna like this.
Do you remember the one gig where the guy came up on stage and actually stopped us playing?
That's the one.
And he went, right, okay, stop, and we were playing. And
mid-song.
Pork pies were on stand at the back.
It became a meme that pork pies are on sale first. But it does sort the men out from the boys, or the girls out from the women. So the women,
it's all great.
Yeah, I mean, it's all great experience and lovely to look back on. Actually, it's funny. And then we got a bit more. We were doing the 101 Club, and we were doing other gigs, and started to just get a bit, not more serious. We're always serious, but felt more like our gigs rather than a working man. Yeah,
we were very.
And then I always wanted to play the marquee. My thing was, and I used to nag my dad, and it's when you're ready, and then a cancellation came through. So we never supported at the marquee. This was a headline cancellation. And my dad tells the story better, but he literally paced all night, thinking, we just had a run of gigs, and said the last one was.
He said he could have got 3 people off the street and they would have played better. And I was like, they're not ready.
But this was an opportunity, and I was like, I want to do it, Dad. I want to do it. I was like, I want to do the marquee. And he took it, and that was absolutely the pivotal time in our career for me.
And we did a great gig. We won 3 people off the street. We did a great gig.
Yeah. Because we went and did it, and it was a step up. First off, I remember there's the audience going, Goddess, God, because we were out in the press, we were getting known, so we were starting to pick up fans, and the whole place was screaming with people shouting Goddess. We were like, what the? And I remember looking up thinking, feeling so excited and scared. And we went out and we just killed it. And my dad went, right, yeah, you needed to make that step. You just changed. And so it was best night of my life. One of the best nights of my life, I'd say.
Great memories.
Yeah. But we did go.
Was there a point where you were doing this for enjoyment, and then a tipping point where you suddenly realised, holy shit, I want to do this for the rest of my life?
I think we were kind of.
It was always
from the day one. We were like, this is what we do.
Right.
Yeah, it was never
strange,
like a little hobby.
No,
it was always.
Dad was always made us. We were constantly professional, because I think from day one we were taught how to be professional. No amateur shit. One of my dad's phrases: "Don't complain before you go when your finger hurts." That kind of, I'm not going to play so well tonight. Cause none of that bullshit. You're professional. And he's, one person, 20 people, 3,000, 3 million, whatever, give the same show. So we were trained, to be professional. And so we took it seriously from the get-go, really.
Yeah, and I think that comes across as well from the performances. Even those early ones. So you do Reading. This solidifies your deal with A&M. You go onto the internet, and you can find all sorts of things where people go, oh yeah, Rock Goddess, yeah, got a 10-album deal from A&M. So myth or fact?
I think it was a 3-album deal. but I can only say I think. Do you know?
No.
I'm talking to the cat.
The cat talks back.
Yeah, I think it was I don't think it was a 10-album deal. No. You know, there was more investment in bands, and there were, you know, development deals where they knew it's going to take a few. But no, I think it was 3.
So I was quite interested in the A&M deal, really, because I'm a massive Y&T fan, always have been, and there's a band who, you know, I don't know if you've seen the documentary that they've just released, but it's like a who's who of rock kind of coming out, you know.
I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really good documentary on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
I was talking to Jill Menichetti earlier in the week, and she was saying, you know, there's quite a lot of
absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
His wife, gorgeous woman.
She is really nice woman. And so there's a lot of they're trying to get the documentary on Netflix, but it's currently on Amazon Prime. But it's literally like a who's who of rock come on and go, this is the band that really influenced me. You know, I'm only here because I listened to Y&T. And they obviously were label mates with you, and I've never understood why Y&T weren't like Bon Jovi massive. Just as I've always wondered why you never got to that kind of super stadium status. So do you think if you'd signed to an EMI or CBS or something, do you think it might have been different?
I wouldn't even like to sort of do the what ifs and that, because how are you ever going to know? I mean, I know what you're saying, but A&M were really supportive. They were a great label to us.
And one say the same thing, actually. They say the same thing.
They were really supportive, and we had a great team, and we were always in the offices being annoying.
I've got great memories of.
I and they were smaller, and I think, you know, I prefer that, to be fair, because sometimes you get swallowed up and, you know, throw the shit at the wall and what sticks, and if you don't stick, and I never got a sense of that with A&M. They really were invested. So
because the other half of that question, I suppose, is, or did you feel that the fact they were small and they weren't, you know, a kind of specialist label in that sense, that actually helped you?
Yeah, and they were completely invested in us. I mean, whether they weren't a traditional metal label. I mean, there are so great metal labels now, but there weren't, as I recall, I don't remember there being, I mean, most labels had a mix of stuff on it. I mean, I can't think of one metal label now. But anyway, my memory is so shocking. But I mean, I'm smashing memory. I say smashing and give my age away. Nuclear blast. I just said nuclear blast.
Holding up notes.
Yeah, he's holding up notes. There are sort of labels. I don't remember there being labels like that then. There were punk labels, wasn't there? There was stiff and stuff, but I don't. But I could be wrong. My memory is awful. But I just think, you know, it didn't matter that we were metal or whatever. They invested in us.
They had faith in us.
You know, we toured with Iron Maiden, Def Leppard, Y&T. I mean, hello.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So
Def Leppard twice. Yeah.
So Richard, I know, wants to ask you about the recording process for the first 2 or 3 albums.
Okay.
Yeah, because you know, I mean, you got, you know, 3 great producers, wasn't it? And I'm interested in. Let's start with the first one and Vic Mayo. I mean, you know, what a guy. I mean, he produced Demolition, hadn't he? Hit and Run. He'd done Ace of Spades. I mean, and because you recorded it, was it Jackson Studios, wasn't it? Rickmansworth.
Our deal, one of the securing points of getting the deal was we went in and did demos with Vic, and they were so good. A&M said, you could release these. I'm very impressed. We had a fantastic relationship with Vic. I mean, he was gorgeous, wasn't he? It was just,
I've got good memories.
Yeah, it was just absolutely so chilled. You know, brought the best out in us. We were kids. I mean, you know, and It was in a big barn. It felt like it was in a big barn, didn't it?
Yeah, we just had a lot of fun, didn't we?
Loads of fun.
Good experience.
Yeah, it was a fantastic experience. And I mean, in terms of how we recorded, we did all play together, didn't we?
Yeah.
I remember being in the room and playing all together.
Definitely.
And then we did overlays after.
I can't remember if I played to a click or not on that one. Can't remember.
I wouldn't know. I think so.
Quite a while ago.
And also, what I love about that album is it was a bit bells and whistles. We did get the sticks out and percussion out.
I was going to ask.
It was fantastic for that.
Claps.
Clap. I mean, it's all going on. And it's a great album. You know, I listened to that first album a while ago. It really is as a debut album, I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's fantastically produced. I think that the sound on it is superb. I mean, he did a brilliant job.
It was awesome. Yeah.
And
it was privileged to have got him, and that he wanted to work with us. We felt really humbled by that. Because he's big name then, and this is our first album. But God, how lucky could we be to get him to do our first album? And
then you moved on with Chris, didn't you? Chris Sankaridis for Hell Hath No Fury. Again, did you get different ideas and angles from working with different producers? How does it alter how you record a record, the sound, how you behave?
Yeah, I mean, it was more, we started live together. I think Vic wanted the feel of the three of us playing together. I don't know, I mean, it's so bloody long ago.
I remember playing the drums on my own to a lot, but with a guide guitar.
With Chris.
That's where it all started.
With Chris.
Yes.
With Chris, it was more start with Julie, then we did
Hell Hath.
Yeah.
I remember the drums were set up and the booth, was it not the booth, where the desk is? Was up there, and I remember playing for hours and just looking out.
Control room. The booth. The TARDIS.
So that was the start of that process, I think, where it was like, it's much quicker if she just does it on her own instead of us playing together. Oh, she's hit the wrong note or blah blah blah. Just go and do it on my own.
I've never fucking laughed as much than with Chris.
Yeah, he was funny.
Oh, he was so funny. Just like gut wrenching, laughing. Yeah, we were very lucky. We had some great people in our lives that we worked with. Very, very blessed.
Well, and also Paul Sampson, of course.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Such a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we've lost all three of them, haven't we?
Well, exactly. All of it. It's just, it's a leveler.
Yeah. So, Jody, how do you write? Do you go off on your own and just get it all down and then come back, or is it kind of you come up with ideas and kind of riffs and what have you?
It used to be, so I interrupt, I talk over everyone. It's such a bad point to my personality, and I've tried to change it. It's a bit fucking late now, really. But I get the gist of it, and I think, yeah, I know. Don't worry, I know what you mean. It's so rude. I do apologise.
No, it's fine.
I used to just pick my guitar up and have a little practice amp, or God, I used to have a little Rockman thing with the headphones in the 80s. But now, because I've got a studio, I've got software, and I'm more sophisticated with it, and it has changed how I write, because I start putting a track together, and the vocals can sometimes be second, which really does change how you write. Or I'll go, oh my God, I've got a great riff, and I'll get up and sing in my phone. So it can differ, but I do think I've changed a bit. Do you think I've changed a bit? Because I send them demos now. But arranged, a lot more arranged. So we get in the studio, rehearsing a bit more with a full song, and then we'll bash it out from there.
Mm-hmm.
Before, it'd just be, here's a riff and let's go, and then be in a rehearsal room, and then I build in the room.
Yeah, because of logistics and whatever, we don't do that.
Yeah.
Do you think about, though, when you're writing, for example, the about Julie and rhythms, or, you know, for example, I heard you mention before that, you know, how sort of, you know, Jenny plays bass different to Tracy. So like if you, now you're writing, I imagine you're writing again now.
Yes, I am.
Are you thinking actually around, you know, the style that Jenny has, and do you have that in mind when you're composing the songs?
No. That would be the fairest, because I want to push the band as well. So I am getting more experimental with, because I do listen to a lot of heavier bands now as well. So I want us to be, you know, push the boundaries sometimes. And so I'll go, I'll put a drum track, but, you know, ideas down, and then the style of that, then they'll go, okay, well, it's this beat, this whatever, and then they run with it and do their own thing. But like, I don't think, oh, Julie wouldn't like this drum beat, or, I mean,
yeah, no, she sends really complicated stuff. It's like when she sent Obsession, that's got double bass drums all the way through, and it's got like an off, you know, like a and
offbeat.
But when she first sent it, it was a lot more complicated because it was a drum machine. Now I had to humanize it so I could physically play it. And for the first 10 seconds, it was like, what? Am I going to play this? Thank you. But then it was like, no, I am going to play this because it's a great song.
And then it turns into its own thing, you know. So obviously I don't go, you must play exactly what is in this shit demo I've just sent you. But I want them to understand the feel of the song and the style and the rhythm and, you know, the time signature, you know, basics like that, and then off you go.
But it's good as a musician to
stretch you.
Yeah, to be stretched.
Yeah,
and it's a good challenge, and yeah.
So on this time, Jody, you are you're dealing with some different subject matter as well, aren't you? Because
yes, more political.
Yeah, more political.
I am a political animal anyway, but I've kept that to myself. But now I thought, you know, I can't keep writing about sex. Well, I can, and there's only so many ways you can write about sex, and I'll keep giving that a go. That's not going to go away.
The writing, yeah.
Yes, but I need, you know, to, and I'm not being very specific. I'm just making general political statements now. You know, I would never have dared, not even dared, I would never have thought to put that in the song, but I thought, no, I need to push this now. You know, I just didn't want to write about sex with 12 songs or whatever. I just needed to speak about stuff other than that.
I have to say that when I was, because you know, obviously when I first bought your album, I was, you know, your age. You know, I was the same age as you were when you released it.
Yeah.
And now I'm sort of, you know, mid-50s, and you know, I have a daughter. If my daughter came home and said, "Here, Dad, I've written a song," and it was "Hold Me Down," I was thinking,
I knew you were going to mention that one.
So
yeah.
Well, no, but I mean, it's a great song. But you just, was there a point at which you went, "I can't play this to Dad"?
We do. Due to popular demand, we play it again in sort of what's the word when you join songs together? I'm very tired. I'm so in medley form.
Yeah.
Do you? But I didn't even think about it at the time. I'm a very aggressive, very confident woman, and I was like that when I was young. And so I just was like, I'm very sexually confident. If I want to sing about this shit, I'm gonna, you know. And I did sort of think about it when we were going to do it again. So, yeah, it's interesting lyrics, Jody. Hold me down. But it just means I'm a consenting woman. I want to get physical with you. Hold me down. I like it. You know, it's not.
Jody, I'm not judging. I'm not judging.
I mean, but you know, I think if your daughter came home with that, be happy that she's confident and you know, that's how I see it. I mean, others may not, but I mean that you're sexually confident and you can express it.
Yeah,
and presumably, you know, you were oblivious to the impact that some of those lines were having on us male fans.
I don't know. Yes, no, I was at a meet and greet, and the guy said, "You got to put Hold Me Down back in," and I was like, "Oh yeah, we don't do it. We weren't doing it at the time." And he was like, "No, you have to put Hold Me," and he was like, "We all really like that one." I was like, "Okay."
I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Take him back to his youth.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So, obviously you do the first 2 albums, and then there's a bit of a gap to the third, and then you leave A&M with it kind of half finished. So, what happened?
Well, the financial situation changed in A&M, and A&M in Europe moved to something else. Oh God, is it Polydor? And staff changed quite significantly, and basically we were mid-album, and it was such an upheaval in the company, and there wasn't really anyone we knew there anymore, and it just kind of all fell apart a bit, and they, you know, just parted ways. It was quite weird. I mean, I don't remember being quite confused because we were so young, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't so business savvy then. Well, I'm not fucking business savvy now, but I don't know what am I talking about. I'm so business savvy now, but even less so. And thank God we had our father. But yeah, I mean, it was basically the change within A&M that caused the change within us, really. So yeah, it was a shame, and that album is practically finished. It's still sitting there. Really? Good album, good shit on that.
So will it ever see the light of day, do you think?
I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. I mean, it would. I'll never draw a line under it, because there is stuff in it I never want to see light of day. But most of it, I think, is some pretty good shit on there. So.
Well, some pretty good shit on the new stuff. It took me about 4 months to get past 2 wrongs don't make a right. So,
thank you. Yeah, what a lovely thing to say. Thank you.
I know.
You like the new album?
Sorry?
Did you like the new album?
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, you're not going to sit there and go, "No, I fucking hate it." Absolutely. No, but
of course I'm not. But no, but equally, I wouldn't say I love it if I didn't love it. I'd say, yeah, I think it's good. But no, I love it. I think it is just, it's Rock Goddess, but it's Rock Goddess 2020, isn't it? Or 2019.
Well, that's exactly what I wanted to achieve. Not to lose the flavour, but to also not be, you know, irrelevant. You have to be relevant. The music changed, but also to still be yourself. So, I mean, I'm glad that you felt that was achieved.
Yeah, I have to say that with all of your stuff, you've all. I mean, I think the thing for me about the way you write, particularly Jody, is it's massive riffs, but you know, huge hook lines. I've been waking up every morning for the last 4 days. I've been waking up with the Love Lingers still going through my head, and it's a really odd, you know what? That's a really odd song to have in your head first thing in the morning.
It really is.
But
you can tell, I think, by the albums I pick and that I like, and I'm very into songs. You know, we love ABBA as much as we love, you know, I mean, you cannot hold a good song down, and I love good singers as well. Hence Thunder is one of my choices. I mean, Danny is just sublime. And Luke is one of the best songwriters on the planet. I mean, the album is, and you will wake up, as I have been, because I've refreshed my memory and played it recently, waking up with those songs in my head, because they're just so catchy and so memorable. And you know, and I think the song is very important. You can have all the riffs in the world, and the song has got to, you know, matter.
Absolutely. So we're going to go on, Richard.
I just wanted to ask, obviously you talked about your influences early days for those early albums. What new ones have come in that influenced how you wrote some of those songs? Because there are definitely some different styles have come in.
I mean, I do listen to I listen to still stuff from the old days, and I love the big bands like Saxon and Priest that are now producing really great albums, really relevant to the scene now. But I also like bands like Lamb of God, who I adore. Lamb of God. I love Slipknot. I'm just a huge Slipknot fan. I just absolutely love them. So real mixed bag, real mixed bag. So maybe some pull from bands, the heavier stuff. Yeah, you can hear, I think, that there are heavier influences in there. Why Do We Never Learn, I think, is quite a new feel for us. And that is definitely from these kind of heavier bands I'm listening to. I just, you know, you just got to stretch yourself and keep true to yourself, but stretch yourself and just keep moving and keep relevant, I think. I mean, that's not always easy, but I hope we achieve it. But I mean, I started writing again. I've got some corkers already, so not that I'm modest.
So when you next into the studio to do that then?
Well, when we next anywhere. I mean, what a strange world we are living in. I mean, we don't know about the studio. I'm writing, so just to use the time, get loads of songs together, demos together. But gigs planned next year, tours planned next year. So that's kind of the plan moving forward. You know, it's really hard to make plans, but, you know, I think everyone's making plans for gigs next year now because we're hoping.
We've got to assume life will return to normal at some point, don't you? So,
I mean, it's just a nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean, for music, it's just annihilated it. I mean, it's just hit at arts, theatre, whatever, anything, you know. And
tragic.
Yeah, it's really sad. Really, really sad.
So we want to get onto your top tens, but a couple of questions before we go.
Sure.
The Express review of your of this time describes you as viragos. Okay, so viragos in literature, female warrior or a woman of masculine strength and spirit.
That's me.
But its more modern definition is a domineering, violent or bad-tempered woman.
That's me.
So Jody, as a
all of the above.
Yeah, I was going to say, as a self-proclaimed hard-nosed cow, which of those is it?
All of the above. I mean, Julie, pipes going again. So I had a leak, so I've got a builder coming next week to fill the hole up, but you can hear the pipes. So I do apologise.
So
please don't put that in as well. That's too Monday.
Rock and roll.
Jody's getting the pipes done.
Julie, though you're a hard-nosed cow sometimes, but I see you as
I'm not a walker,
the more softer, feminine, pretty one. And I was always, the
you're
aggressive,
more vocal,
loud, very loud, boisterous one. I'm proud of what I am. I mean, it takes a lot of balls sometimes to get up there and front a band and do what you do, and I think I've got the right personality for it, certainly.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, without
I don't think it's masculine energy, it's strong female energy.
I was going to say that it's not not being derogatory, but Judy, when you're up there, you've got a kit surrounding you. You can almost, it's a prop that you can almost hide behind, isn't it?
Yes,
it
is.
removes you a bit from the audience. Whereas Jody, you're out there front and centre.
Up, I was like, no.
Put a tent up.
Yeah.
The screen.
Sorry, go on, Karen.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how they do it, especially Jody. I could not do that. And there was one gig, you know, you have good gigs and bad gigs, everyone does, and there was one particular gig, but the audience wasn't very forthright, would come in, you know, like,
did fuck all, is what you're trying to say. Just
and
stood there.
It was Tracy and you, and they worked their asses off, and they did it through the whole set. And I just thought, I'm so glad I'm not down there.
It's tiring.
I'm so glad I'm not down there and I'm back here.
And you go, hey, right, I got time, and they're like,
bless them. They'd had a long week.
So, looking back now then, what advice would you give your 9 and 13-year-old selves?
In terms of being in a band or just generally?
Generally. What have you learned?
Be yourself. be true unto yourself, which was advice my father always gave me. Be true unto yourself. You might be able to lie to others, but you cannot lie to yourself.
I mean, I wouldn't change, as if I was there, what advice would I give?
Well, what advice did you give you? I mean, you have kids.
I wouldn't change anything. I would just probably say, take more in, take this experience in, and take more pictures.
Yeah, I know.
Go and buy a video camera and go and take a shitload of pictures.
You can do that on your phone now, dude.
I know, but back in the day.
Yeah. I know.
All of the sound checks with Leopard and Maiden.
I know.
I mean, it's just all,
yes.
you know.
I absolutely agree.
That's a little bit basic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's probably what I would say. Just take more in, and I wouldn't change anything.
But be true unto yourself. Be strong. Don't let people walk over you. Stand up for yourself. Don't drink too much. Don't do drugs. I mean, I could go on.
If you think about it, I mean, it would be so different if you were doing all of that stuff you did back then today. You know, with YouTube, and you know, you see all these. I mean, who's that amazing that girl drummer on YouTube? Is it Nandi Bushell? Have you seen her? I mean, she's just unbelievable drummer. She's about 10.
Oh my God!
And it's everywhere. You know, I mean, it would be so different these days.
I mean, I think it's good and bad, isn't it? I think people's lives are ruined today because of just this mass exposure, and just maybe ruined for the right or for the wrong. I mean, it's just, you know, you can't hide in this world. You can't sit in a pub and have a conversation if someone's fucking filming you or whatever. I don't, that's a bad example, but
no, you've
then
got no privacy, have you? Got no privacy.
You had more privacy. Yes, you did. But at the same time, to get exposure now, it's so much easier. And you don't need big conglomerate companies behind you, big record companies necessarily. So many people are doing it themselves, you know, with the technology that we all have. Then you were more reliant on, you had to get a record deal, you know, So I think it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? But I mean, the people filming everything, and you can't sit on the tube and pick your nose and it's gone viral. I find that a little bit intrusive, but that maybe because I'm older and, you know, I've not been brought up with that. I just think it's a bit in your face. But
right, well, we're going to move on to your top 10s. We have one really important question left, which is we're going to be at KK's next spring, assuming that we're not all in lockdown. So can we buy you all a drink?
You better.
Good.
Yes, thank you very much.
Crystal, champagne.
Yeah, yeah, Crystal. Yeah, I'll get it out of the cellar before I come. I'll put it in ice.
Yeah, I'm sure they've got it on tap in the steel mill.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Surely that must be what KK drinks, isn't it, Crystal? I would think. Right, top 10s, really interesting. Well, I mean, obviously there are a couple of there that really stick out. So Julie, I've got a question for you. ABBA songs are the most difficult to sing in the world, apparently. So are they the best songwriters, Bjorn and Benny, ever, do you think? Apart from your sister.
From a non-songwriter, I would say yes.
And what does Jody think?
Songwriter.
I wasn't listening, actually, because there's kids outside being noisy. Sorry, can you say that again?
So ABBA, apparently I'm told they are the hardest songs in the world to sing. The range is really tough. I can't sing a note. Do you think Bjorn and Benny are the best songwriters of modern times?
It's impossible to say. I mean, it was bad enough having to put a top 10 together. It's impossible to say the best. I mean, you know, I love Paul McCartney, John Lennon. I mean, they are up there, though. I mean, they are absolutely brilliant. Mm. And those women, between the two of them, because one had a lower range, one had a higher, very high range, could cover quite a lot together. But certainly in terms of pop and how, still how popular they are, these songs, to people that are 20, they're they've earned.
They are, yeah, they are fantastic songwriters.
Yeah.
As I watched Mamma Mia 2 the other day, and there's a song at the end, "My Love, My Life."
Oh, it's brilliant.
Absolutely sobbed all the way through it because it touched their songs.
Isn't that the one Mum likes? Because and this is very Von Trapp, but we used to sit with Mum and sing ABBA,
Barry Manilow,
just sing all the pop songs because my mum's got a fantastic voice. Yeah, no, I mean, it was
they're just fantastic songs.
Brilliant.
So Mamma Mia 2, Julie, I mean, you must have just been hoping at the end of that when Cher turns up, she goes into Bang Bang, surely.
You know what, that bit at the end, it's so camp, but it is so fantastic because Cher's the grandmother and she gets up at the end and does a song, and it's just brilliant. So
I was going to say, the only reason we're talking about this is that ABBA the album features on Julie's top 10, so just for the people.
Okay, well, Hughes and Thrall, this was introduced to me, I'm not going to chat through all of it, but Hughes and Thrall was introduced to me by Kevin Riddles from Titan, Angel Witch. I used to hang with Titan in my 20s, early 20s, late teens, and he introduced this album to me. It is, and I played it again last week, and I had it on 5 days straight. It is a work of art. It is just his voice. Oh, okay. Y&T Earthshaker, saw Y&T at the Marquee, just fell in love with them and got this album. It's just, I mean, his guitar playing makes you cry. Awesome, man. Iron Maiden, and Def Leppard On Through the Night. Both those albums I went down every day to the record shop. No such thing as big record stores and stuff. Little record shop in the corner every day and went, is it in yet? Is it in yet? Till I got these albums. Kiss, Alive. I mean, I'm a massive Kiss fan. I was a member of their fan club, though they got my name wrong. I was always Judy. And I had a mother that was so cool that we did post a picture of me standing behind it, actually, where she let me put up a picture of Gene Simmons with blood cascading down his face, which I found really attractive. In the front room. Which really sums me up, because I was quite young.
In the bedroom, in the front room?
It was in the front room.
It was in the front room.
She was probably so tired. She
probably didn't give a shit, yeah, but I mean, obviously Dad was a musician, so it was a liberal family, but still, I mean, it was in the front room. Blood. Runaways, Waiting for the Night. I mean, we could have picked any of the Runaways ones, but this one particularly, I've sat as a child, as a teenager, looking at that album cover and just how much I love that. We've just loved the Runaways all the way through.
Hence the T-shirts.
We know.
And Joan Jett was a particular influence for me. If you're going to ask influences, Joan Jett definitely is an influence. Bon Jovi, Ray Palmer gave me that album. And he said, listen to this. And I did. And it's absolute. Ray Palmer, the very well-known photographer. Yeah. And it's fantastic. Poppy, metal, fantastic songs, and a really hot singer. Motley Crue, Shout the Devil. Oh. Again, I think Ray Palmer gave me this album. And the cover alone, I was like, wow, these look cool. Really quite different to what I'd seen. Maybe I was a bit behind, but great pop metal songs, for want of a better phrase. But, you know, poppy, because they're tuneful and, you know, great album. Thunder Behind Closed Doors is a work of art. Danny's voice is one of my favourite voices. I just love his voice, the feel and the emotion in his voice. And Luke's writing, though some of them there's co-writes, isn't there? But it's mainly just awesome songs. Brilliant songs with a brilliant vocal. And Slipknot, fucking love them. I remember the first time I saw them live, and the guy with the spiked head got me. When his head banged, I just thought, that's a bit of me. Great album, but all of Slipknot albums are fantastic. And their newest one, they're still so strong. And the thing about Slipknot I like is they're really fucking heavy and there's grunting, but then there's tunes. He's got a great voice and sings as well. I love that balance.
Well, we talked about your pipes earlier, Jody, but Corey's got a set of pipes on him, hasn't he?
Oh, done he? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's my list.
But I have to say, the first time I heard Psychosocial, it blew me out my fucking chair.
Oh, I fucking love that track. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Why wouldn't you like it? I mean, it was, I love awesome band.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's when we got this through, we were all saying how nice it is to see some Y&T on the list as well, because we don't normally get that. It feels
really?
like, yeah, even though the world seems to know who they are, sometimes it has felt that I'm the only person, or Steve and I are the only people.
You listen to his solo on Rescue Me, and what's the other one?
Forever.
You're like, I was like, this guy is from another planet. His pitching and his vibrato, and he's just a beautiful guitarist and a beautiful man as well, and a great vocalist. I mean,
well, so I saw them do a sound check about 8 years ago, and he had a really heavy cold. I mean, to the point where when I was talking to him, you couldn't really. I mean, he was struggling to speak.
Yeah.
The moment he got in front of the microphone, it was just like honey. It was amazing.
I know. Yeah, very good word. It is like honey. He's just, and you know, he's lost every single one of his band members. I mean, wow.
Well, I tell you what, Jody, and well, both of you, when you check out the documentary, seeing Joey Alves broke my heart. It was just
it's really
so
sad.
Yeah, really was. Anyway, on to more cheery things. Julie.
I'm not going to talk as much as Jody. I'll just literally just read my list out. Okay, so the first one's Black Sabbath, Never Say Die. I basically picked all of the albums that I still listen to now and that take me back to when I was a kid. And I literally put these albums on and just literally go, oh my God. It's when you go, oh my God, I love this so much.
Yeah.
So Black Sabbath, Never Say Die. Zeppelin, the first album, every tune is just,
and the feel of Zeppelin
excellent. The Runaways, Waiting for the Night, again, massive influence for us. Our father took us to one of the sound checks of the Runaways back in the day.
We were kids, me, Tracy,
in the 70s. He actually got us in to the sound check.
We were at the back.
Yeah, so they're a massive influence for us.
I love Lead It Forward as well.
AC/DC, If You Want Blood. This is their live album. The first time we saw AC/DC was
What Goes to College. And
remember that? Yeah.
And that, again, our father said something. Dad was there, wasn't he? He said, "Watch this," and we were like, I mean, instant love. And Angus, you're like, oh, who is? And Bon Scott. I say I'm a Bon Scott girl with AC/DC.
And we saw them live at Hammersmith Odeon with Bon Scott.
Awesome.
If You Want Blood changed my life, literally. Just that was Rosie version of Rosie was the one that kind of switched me from punk to metal, really.
You know, and it's life-changing is the right phrase, and I think people don't get this sometimes because people flit across different music, and that when you're a metaler, that's it, you're in for life. That's it. That's why I got metal on my arm. You know, I mean, this is not for fun. It's not, what is the phrase with dogs? It's not just for Christmas. This is like your religion, let's say.
That's exactly.
But, yeah.
Okay, AC/DC, Back in Black. Again, I'll
brilliant. And his voice is absolutely awesome as well. Yeah.
Def Leppard, Pyromania. Again, it's a double whammy because that brings back memories of being on tour with them. Y&T, Earthshaker, Y&T, Black Tiger. ABBA, the album. I could have picked a rival. I could have picked other ABBA albums, but for me, again, I got my vinyl out, and it's like I was 12 years old again. Yeah. I know every inch of the cover.
Yes.
Every song. We went to see ABBA the movie when we were kids with Tracy and our mum.
Yeah.
And am I right in thinking that we watched it and then we stayed in the cinema and watched it again?
No, you wanted to, and it's for a strop when Mum said, no, we have to go. So it's a funny thing, isn't it?
So, me.
Oh, no, that was Elvis.
I'm sure
the Elvis movie, because I'm a huge Elvis fan. Might have.
I mean, ABBA for me, because I was a kid in the 70s was a massive influence for me. And and then the Runaways live in Japan.
Runaways again. Runaways, yes.
So those are amazing top tens and really kind of just, you know, diverse variety of stuff. Yeah, I mean, the one that stuck out for me, I have to say, was Slipknot, because it was so kind of out there compared to the other 19, really. Well, ABBA was pretty out there, let's be honest.
I could have put like Lamb of God, and there's a couple of other you know, even like, what they're called.
I think it would be more interesting if there was a list of 20.
Yes.
You would have got a lot more diverse from me.
Yeah, the thing is, same as Julie, I went back to those albums when I was a kid that absolutely like were life-changing, that really solidified, like, this is my life now, this is the music I want to live my life by, almost. And so Slipknot does stand out a bit, because I love them so much that I had to get them in the top 10s. But the rest of them are more of a journey through my life. But yeah.
Yeah, it is like a journey through your childhood and your teenage, isn't it?
I mean, Hughes and Thrall, I remember Kevin playing me that album. And then, like, third time, I was like, this is the best album I've ever heard in my life. I mean, do you know the album? Oh, you must know the album.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
I didn't be patronising. It's just such an awesome album. And so from nowhere, if you see what I mean.
Yes, because there was no context. It suddenly appeared, didn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do this, but you don't have to. If the usual desert island question, if there was only one out of the 10 you could take to your desert island, could you work out which one, or at least which one right now?
Going by refreshing these for myself recently, I would go with Thunder, because when I play that and I hear Danny's voice, I do the, you know, where there's something so brilliant, go, I do the arm. I can't explain that at all. It'll be between Thunder and Slipknot. How diverse is it? I mean, if I had 20, FM would be in there as well. Great band.
Yeah.
You know, I found it difficult to put this together, actually.
Yeah, it was very difficult.
Yeah.
This first topic was like 10 albums. I ain't got 10 albums. And suddenly you sit down and write a list of 20 and think, I've got to start ticking stuff off here. And it was quite frustrating.
And she's organised. I wasn't. I kept sending Richard, the manager, our manager, a top 10. And they go, no, not that. No, take that one. I put that one. And he was like, fuck off, you've just sent me 50 texts. How am I meant to know what your top 10 is now? So,
was it fun? Was it fun doing it?
Really fun and nice to revisit some stuff.
I sat down one Saturday night with a bottle of wine and got all my vinyls out with Jody's turntable that I've nicked off her.
Yeah, I'll never get that back.
And had a whole night of listening, writing a massive list, basically. So, yes, it was fun. Thank you.
Yeah, really good. Yeah.
Good. I'm pleased. We're pleased. So, what we've asked you to do as well is to give us the 3 albums that we've got to review for our next episode. So do you want to tell us what they are? So
it's the Runaways, Waiting for the Night.
Yeah.
And If You Want Blood.
Yes.
And Metallica.
Ooh. So one that might actually get to the top of the Hall of Fame. Metallica. Because Led Zeppelin have been there for bloody yonks, and I'm getting.
Oh right, yeah. It's again that nearly snuck into my top 10. I mean, what an album. I mean, that really, I loved, what was the album before? One? Not one.
Justice for All.
Justice for All, we won on, yeah. Is it one?
Yeah.
Memory's so bad.
The only band in the world that could write a song about a man with no arms, no legs, no sight, no hearing.
And it goes into the charts here, yeah. I love that album because it's got that kind of clicky bass drum, and it's got that kind of thrashy production and stuff. And this album came out and it was like, no, this is commercial metal, as in everyone was listening to it. You could have been into bloody pop the day, but everyone suddenly went, because it's so catchy, so well produced, big, So I think that was quite I mean, they were huge anyway, but I don't know, was that quite a turning point for them?
Well, that was the point at which they ruled the world, wasn't it, really?
Yes, that's my impression, yeah. I mean, and they deserve it. That album is absolutely brilliant.
Well, so, Bob Rock for you, isn't it? Bob Rock, all over it. So Bob Rock produced it.
Yes, yes. And there's no shame in that. It's fantastic. No, exactly.
This has been an absolute blast. Thank you so much.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
It's been a lot of fun. Thank you.
And and we've got our tickets. We'll be there at KK's.
Yay!
And
we'd love to
we'll have a drink together.
Definitely. Remember that champagne?
Yeah, we will. No, the crystals. Don't worry, it's safe. I'll make sure we don't drink it in the meantime.
Bottle of Deco will do. Don't worry. Well, I've absolutely loved it. Thank you so much.
Stay safe and keep well.
And you. And
thank you.
Care. Thank you.